Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the land of track. We're back in an undisclosed location somewhere in Tracklandia with another star-studded lineup of races. As you know, tonight's events are part of the fourth installment of Portland Track's regularly scheduled 2020 Tracklandia Space Race programming and is once again brought to you by our title sponsors, Soft Drink and Big Dairy. Soft Drink and Big Dairy, who have recently combined forces to create a truly explosive carbonated milk product called Move Over. It is recommended that you drink this product at least 4 hours before physical activity or not at all. We're not saying for sure where we are again, but if we were to tell you, we might say that we're coming to you live from Newberg High School in Newberg, Oregon, home to Oregon's javelin throwing dynasty. On that note, we'd like to wish 2012 Olympic javelin thrower and Newberg graduate Cyrus Hostetler a very happy birthday today. The former member of the Oregon Track Club is 34 today, excuse me. We would like to acknowledge the original inhabitants of the land we are competing on today, the people of the Confederation of Kalapuya and other indigenous tribes who called and still call this land home. We acknowledge and respect their connection to the land, water, and community. Thank you again to our friends in the Rose City Track Club for leading the way in this recognition. The track has been certified and sanctioned for the highest level of competition, and just like last time, we've installed the old Hayward Field rail to bring some good old Hayward Field magic to the competitors today. May the force be with them. The races you'll be watching this evening are the women's 800, the men's 800, the women's 1500, the men's 1500, and the men's 3000. And right now, the women's 800 is being called to the line to start us off here. So let's head down to the start line here. We've got Sadie Henderson on the line, Rebecca Mara, Nia Akins, Chanel Price, and they'll be taken through by Kelly Macon, who's setting the pace. We've seen Chanel Price take both victories in the 800s, and they're stepping to the line. And they're off. And like I said, Kelly Macon is taking them through the first 400 meters, potentially more than that. Chanel Price, like I was saying, has won both 800s in the 2020 Tracklandia Space Race Program series. And Nia Akins has won the 600 that was run at the bigger friendly on the banks of the Mackenzie River. So they're approaching the 200-meter mark here, and they've gone through in about 28 seconds with Kelly Macon out front and Chanel Price staying close on her. Rebecca Mara is in the race today, and she's been running, she ran the 1500 last week in 4:08, but she's run a 400 PR in practice, 54.7 earlier this week. And here they are coming up to the line, and we'll see what they go through in. Chanel Price up on the shoulder, and they go through in 58 seconds. Chanel Price out front, and then a pack of ladies behind her, and they're bringing her in. Nia Akins is reeling in Chanel Price at the moment, and then Sadie Henderson and Rebecca Mara there. Rebecca Mara looking like she's trying to make a move, but she's caught on the inside at the moment, and the pack bunches up. Nia Akins making a move on the outside and pulling slightly ahead of Chanel Price at 600 meters, passed in roughly 1:32. Nia Akins is pulled up, and she's off the track, and the race is being led by Sadie Henderson now, with Chanel Price on Sadie. Oh, this is Rebecca Mara. My apologies to Rebecca. Chanel Price and Rebecca Mara pulling. Chanel Price driving for home here. She's past Mara, and it's 1 in 2:02, I believe. So Chanel Price now undefeated at 800 meters in the 2020 Tracklandia Space Race Program series. And we're off to a hot start, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get you those official results shortly. We hope that Nia Akins is okay. She pulled up just after 600 meters after making a move down the backstretch. And here you can see the lovely Newberg High School stands, or this could be a replication of them. We were somewhere on the moon. Beautiful setting, though. The sun is about to set behind the craters to our left. And up next is the men's 800 meters, and this is a loaded event this evening. This event is going off at 8:10 p.m. And Josh Kerr warming up in front of our box here. He's still got his headphones on, so getting every last bit of Lil Baby. I think that's who he's listening to. We won't judge him, whatever gets him pumped up. And here you can see Drew Windle, the 2018 silver medalist indoors in this event at the World Championships. Last week, Drew Windle ran 1:49.64 for second place in the 800 at BF3, Revenge of the Friendly. And here you can see our results in the 800 for this evening. Chanel Price sitting on top, 2:02.93, and she's queen of the Tracklandia Space Race Program right now. And then Rebecca Mera with a 2:03.16, Sadie Henderson 2:04.96, and we hope that Nia Akins is okay. It was great pacing by Kelly Macon. She takes her classes at the University of Washington up in Seattle. Josh Kerr gives a clap of his hands. He's ready to go. So I would say this men's 800 up next is one of the most loaded races that we have this evening. There's a shot of the craters over there to our left. And then the men's 800 field as they sit. And we will not go in order here in our introductions, but I will give you the names competing today. We have Derek Holdsworth. He's a Western Oregon Wolf, and you remember him from last week. He paced the 800. He paced Donovan Brazier to a 1:43.84. And he's run 1:47 indoors this year, and he also got second in the 600 at the bigger friendly in 1:17.08. And we also have Drew Windle again. Like I said, he's the silver medalist in the 2018 World Indoor Championships in this event. And he ran 1:49 last week at BF3. He ran 1:17.59 in the 600 at the bigger friendly, and he's got a PR, a PB for those folks out in Europe, of 1:44.63 in this event. And then also lining up, we have Sam Prakel, and Sam's got a PB of 1:46.75. We realize that our international audience might be greater than our domestic audience, so we'll switch to PB. Pardon me, Americans. Sam's had a great season so far as well. He got second in the 1,000 meters at the bigger friendly in 2:18.15. And he's a 3:36 1,500 meter man. He ran 3:38.15 last week at BF3. And then we've got Gang Green jumping on the line here again, the OTC, with a few different runners lining up today. Vincent Ciotti has PB'd in every race in the Tracklandia Space Race Program series this year. He's a part of the OTC. He PR'd initially in the 1,500, the big friendly, with a 3:39, and then he ran 2:18 for the K at the bigger friendly, and then he lowered his PB by 3 seconds in the 1,500 last week to run 3:36. Oh, we're going to take a look now. Oh, here's the Tracklandia satellite coming across the screen, as you can see. Last week we had some trouble, and we cut out briefly, but yeah, it's alive and well, and we'll be seeing it throughout the day, floating in and out. Again, back to our lineup here, we've got Will Paulson from the OTC, and he PB'd last week in the 1,500 at 3:35, taking second. Then we've got Jake Hayward. He's got a PB of 148 in the 800. And he ran 339 last week. Then we've got a big battle up front, and that'll take place between Josh Kerr, who ran 334.5 for a world lead last week in the 1500, and this Scotsman from up north in Seattle, he's run 145 in the 800, and they'll be taking on the third fastest man of all time over this distance, tied with the great Sebastian Coe at 141.73 for the event. Nigel Amos is in the field, and he'll be looking to take a shot at that track record for sure. And the men are off in the 800 meters right now. There is no rabbit in this race, so anything can happen. 8 men on the track, and we don't know what the pace is going to be like. Is it going to go fast? Is it going to go tactically? Either way, I'm excited to watch. We've got Nigel Amos leading right now. He knows that he's going to have to take it out decently hard to shake Josh Kerr, but they're going through in roughly 27 seconds for the first 200 meters. And the pack is still bunched together, Nigel Amos up front and Josh Kerr on his shoulder. Amos, if you remember from 2012, was part of that historic race at the Olympics that saw David Rudisha break the world record, and Amos got the silver medal in that race. But he's come through in 55 seconds. The track record looks a bit out of reach here on the moon tonight, but he stepped on the gas. And Josh Kerr is trying to go with him. Amos stretching the field now. And that's Vince Ciotti in third, and Derek Holdsworth coming up on the inside next to Ciotti. And then you have Prakel and Will Paulson, who carries a PB of 150 into the field. And now Amos has really stepped on the gas as they pass 600 meters, and now they have 150 to go. And it's still any man's race here. Amos at the front, driving for home, and he's got himself some space over Josh Kerr, who's pushing, and Josh Kerr is giving Amos a run for his money. This could be too close to call. 149.49 in this 800 meters. And I'm not sure who took that one just yet from my angle. We'll get you the results very soon. But a pack of runners coming through in a very exciting race there. It looks like Nigel Amos does take the win in 149.2. And then Josh Kerr, also 149.2, 149.29. Prakel came up for third in that race, and then Ciotti. So Ciotti's PB streak has been broken today, but he gets a fourth place finish. In a tactical 800 here at BF4, Force of the Friendly. And we'll get the official results coming up on the screen very shortly here. But we're moving very quickly tonight, heading into the women's 1500 meter after this. And as you know, we're sticking with our sponsors this evening. This is the Ice Cold Beer Women's 1500. If you need one, go and grab one. If you're not old enough to get one, then please take a seltzer instead. But you're at home right now, watching on your pixelated screens, just head to the fridge, grab an ice cold beer. Get ready to watch the Ice Cold Beer Women's 1500. Thank you to our sponsor, Ice Cold Beer. And the men's and women's 800 meters are in the books this evening at BF4, Force of the Friendly. We saw some tactical races take place. The men's 800 went through in a tactical 55 for the first lap, and it didn't really get going in earnest until 2:50 to go. But Nigel Amos led the race wire to wire, and he held off Josh Kerr in the stretch. Looks like he ended up winning by 6/100ths of a second, so almost as close as you can get. But you never know what can happen in 800 meters. It's a crapshoot of a race. While we're waiting, we'll go through the force field of the women's 1500 that are lining up here today. Jumping in the women's 1500 at BF4, we have Allie Shadler, and she ran the 3,000 meters last week here on the moon at the replica of the Newburgh High School track. And she takes her classes at the University of Washington, a Husky. She's run 9 flat for the 3K, and she's run 4:14 for the 1,500 meters, and she's originally from Arizona, Sunshine State. Joining her on the line, we've got Susan Najori, and last week she placed 5th in the 800 meters at BF3, and she ran 2:04:34 for that race. And here we have on the screen the breakdown for the men's 800 meters, the tactical race that we just witnessed, and you can see just how close that was at the finish. Vincent Ciotti and Derek Holdsworth with the same exact time at 4th and 5th. They must have taken it to the 1,000th and given the man from Baltimore, Vincent Ciotti, the lead or the nudge on that one. Yes, wow. 6 men at 150 in this race, and then 2 men under in a 55-second first lap for the 800 meters. And the women are getting ready to go in the ice cold beer 1,500 meters. Susan Najori, like I was saying, she's run 2:04 this year, last week, here at BF3, Revenge of the Friendly. And she's jumping in the 1,500 meters tonight, and her best in that event is 4:18:11 from 2019. So she'll definitely be looking to better that time this evening. And the people of Oregon know her as a former Oregon Duck, a great there down in Eugene. And joining her also is Allie Cash from up in Seattle. She's also a former Oregon Duck and straight out of Kansas, where she grew up. And she's run 4:37 for the mile. And last week she rabbited the 3,000 meters, and that was the bank 3,000 meters. Just a coincidence that her name is Allie Cash, and the sponsor for that race was Bank last week. And then joining Allie Cash on the line, we also have Mel Lawrence from Little Wing. And Mel Lawrence last week, as we could see here, she won the 3,000 meters, a big win for the Little Wing Track Club out of Bend. And that's their one win of the season in the Tracklandia Space Race Program series. Mel Lawrence, a steeplechase extraordinaire. She's jumping down to the 1,500 today, but she does have a best of 4:11 in the event, not too shabby. And she'll definitely be a force to be reckoned with tonight. And then joining her on the line, we have Eleanor Fulton, the pride of Portland, Oregon. She's run 4:08 low in the 1,500 as her best, and that was last year to make the finals at USA Outdoors. Last week in BF3 Revenge of the Friendly, she ran 4:08.92 for 4th. And her friends and teammates call her Gazellenor. So if you're going to cheer for her and you consider yourself a friend or a teammate, go ahead and shout that into the screen as she runs by. But that is your lineup here, and Rebecca Mayra coming back from her race in the 800 meters to do a little pace work for the friends here. A friendly job doing the pace work for this 1500, the ice cold beer women's 1500. And that's your force field there. So they're doing their final stride outs as we get this race going. We're going to give Rebecca Mayra a bit more time to get her breath back before she rabbits this race. It is a bit of a breezy evening here on the moon tonight. Last week it was perfect conditions, just absolutely still. Today there's some wind coming off of the crater to our east. But that's something that athletes have to deal with from time to time. It plays into the tactics. We might see some more drafting out of this one, some bunching up, but that's all part of the game. Wins are what matters in the series here. It's great to see some fast times, but what these athletes are really after are some victories in this competition. So after the women's 1500, we do have a men's 1500 coming up. And that is a stellar field as well. And we'll give you that force field as soon as we get to that race. And then we have a men's 3,000 meters to close out the evening. And there are some surprise names in there that you're going to enjoy watching race out here in space. The women are now being called to the line for the ice cold beer women's 1500 meters. Oh, and we see the Tracklandia satellite coming across the screen again, so it means that everything's okay. Floating around. It has just made a full orbit around the moon and probably around another planet too. I don't know what planet is closest to the moon at any given time other than Earth, but it probably circumnavigated Neptune. And here we get a view of the start line now for the ice cold beer women's 1500 meters. Final shakeouts before we get this race going. And in this race, there is one athlete who has taken a win in the series, and that's Mel Lawrence, as we saw earlier in the 3,000 meters from BF3. So there could be a brand new victor coming out of this race, taking a win in the Tracklandia Space Race Program series. And as I've said in an earlier broadcast, like many space race programs, as I've said in many, or in earlier broadcasts in our space race series, like other space race programs, we don't know how far we're going or when funding will dry up, but it's still flowing right now, so we're happy. But we're going to cut to commercial break right now. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back for the ice cold beer women's 1500 meters, and the women are on the line right now. Our official Bruce Davis has called them And the gun is up. And the race is off. And we've got Eleanor Fulton on the inside, and then Ali Shadler, Ali Cash, Susan Ajori, Mel Lawrence, and Rebecca Mara goes to the front, taking the pace for these ladies, doubling back after her 800 meters earlier this evening. And Eleanor Fulton is tucked right in second place. We've been told that she's looking for a good time this evening, but she's also looking for that win here at BF4 Force of the Friendly. And we think that the women's 1500 is slated to go through in about 2:10, 2:11 for the first 800 meters, so we'll see how close they get to that through this first lap. But sitting at the back is the lone winner of a race in the Tracklandia Space Race Program series. And sitting on the outside, that's Mel Lawrence. Rebecca Mara still at the front. And roughly 66 seconds, 65, 66 seconds for the women as they pass the 400 meters. And there's a slight headwind on the back stretch there. So Rebecca Mara taking that for the field. Susan Ajori sitting in third, the 800 meter specialist. And then behind her we have Shadler and Mel Lawrence and Ali Cash. And they have the wind at their back right now coming down the home stretch. They're coming through. And a beautiful evening here, wherever we are. We're definitely enjoying ourselves watching some track again. And that lap slowed to 69 through the finish line, if you're taking the split there. And now Rebecca Mara steps off and leaves Eleanor Fulton. And Fulton out in the front, and she's pushing against the wind here. And Susan Ajori in second place, followed by Ali Shadler, Ali Cash, and Mel Lawrence, biding her time at the back of the field. And the back of the field might not be a bad place to be right now with the breeze, but Eleanor Fulton creating some daylight for herself in front of Susan Ajori here, and she's going to make a push down the home stretch while the wind's at her back. See if she can get herself some distance, it looks like. Eleanor Fulton placed second at the bigger friendly 3,000 meters on the banks of the Mackenzie River about a month ago. And through in roughly 3:08, 3:09, heading into the final lap. And now Eleanor Fulton is laying it down, separating herself. And Ali Cash is making a move in third as well. And we'll see what happens as they push down this back stretch. But Eleanor Fulton closing hard in this ice-cold beer 1,500 meters. And she's hitting the 200 meters to go mark here. The pride of Portland, Oregon, Gazellenor, stretching the lead. Something for the Portland faithful to celebrate. Crack some IPAs in this ice-cold beer 1,500 meters. But it's not over yet. We'll see what Cash and Ajori have to say about it. Ali Cash swinging wide and going around Susan Ajori. Eleanor Fulton seems to have too much in the bank right now to give up. And she crosses the line at about 4:15 with Cash in second and Ajori in third. And then Shadler and Mel Lawrence rounding out the field here. Another tactical race here at BF4 Force of the Friendly. The runner is dealing with the breeze on the back stretch. And Eleanor Fulton, congratulations to her, getting her first win for the Tracklandia Space Race Program series in 2020. a lone ranger, unaffiliated with a group. But everybody in the Portland running community knows and loves Eleanor Fulton and are shouting from the rooftops right now with her victory. And the results are up here. Eleanor Fulton with a 4:15.41, a second-and-a-half victory over Allie Cash from up north in Seattle with a 4:17 flat. Then Susan Ajori, Allie Shadler, and Mel Lawrence. And some pacing there by Rebecca Mera. Hats off to her. Pacers are definitely the heroes of this series. And in the Ice Cold Beer Women's 1500, Rebecca Mera will take home many Crux, 10-barrel, and probably Deschutes IPAs, if she'll have them. But next up, we have the men's 1500 meters. In the men's 1500 meters, here on the moon is brought to you by Fancy Car. Do you like driving and looking good, turning, steering, turning, engine noises, waving at attractive people, hamsters? Fancy Car. And in the Fancy Car 1500 meters, we've got a stellar lineup of racers. Logan Orndorff, the Portland pilot, he's in this field. He ran last week in the 3,000 meters, and he joins us today. He's a 3:59 miler. And he's run 3:46.92 in the 1,500 meters, so his mile translates to a little better than his 1,500 time, but we'll see if he can squeeze that down a little bit today here at Force of the Friendly. And moving on through the force field here, we have Dustin Nading as well, and we saw Dustin pace that 1,500 last week at BF3 Revenge of the Friendly, and he's an unattached runner taking his classes at the University of Washington. He's also a sub-4-minute miler, and he's run 3:42 in the 1,500. And earlier this year, he ran 2:22 for the 1,000 meters at the bigger Friendly on the banks of the mighty Mackenzie River. And also in this field, part of Gang Green, Hassan Mead of the OTC. And he's run 3:37.95 for the 1,500 meters. You might know him better as a 5,000 meter man. He's an Olympian, and he's run 13:02 in that event. He's got a beautiful, long, smooth, loping stride as well. And last week at BF3, he ran 3:48.55 for the 1,500 meters, so he'll be looking for a slightly better performance than that today, but he'll have to contend with Eric Avila sailing in from the Golden Coast. From the Golden Coast Track Club, he's a 3:36 1,500 meter man and a Southern Oregon grad. He lives in San Diego now, but he's spending most of his time in Bend this summer. And last week at BF3, he was 8th in the 1,500. He ran 3:42.49. But he's raring to go and chomping at the bit for this race. And then moving on down the line, we've got Henry Wynn of the Brooks Beasts. Last week, he got 6th at Revenge of the Friendly in the 1,500, running 3:38. And he's run 3:51 for the indoor mile, and he's also got a 3:35 best to his name in the 1,500 meters. But probably what he's best known for is his runner-up finish at the 2018 world-famous Lodi Mile. And joining these men on the line, helping them out a little bit with pacing, and who knows, maybe they stay in it till the end. We've got Jake Hayward and Vince Ciotti doubling back from their 800-meter race. And there's a good shot of Scotty Olberding here, front and center. He's got his finger on the trigger, ready to check the splits, but it looks like he's scrolling through Instagram at the moment. Maybe give that one a like. Maybe not so much that one. Maybe you'll table it for now. Maybe get back to it later this evening. And as Scotty scrolls, we're going to take you to another commercial break. Hey, Chris Derrick. And we're back. And Scotty has taken a crouched position here. Still scrolling. Maybe it's Twitter this time. But the whistle has been blown, and the 1,500 meter men are being called to the line. And this race is another race where there is not a repeat winner entered in the field. So whoever wins this race will take their first victory in the 2020 Tracklandia Space Race Program series. And we're very excited to see who that will be. And they're here on the line. The official Pete Castro is giving them their instructions. And it looks like, oh, Josh Kerr has jumped in to help pacing too, and I think he had a question on the outside, but I'm hoping it's answered, maybe not. It's difficult to hear what they're saying from this far away. I'm actually riding in that satellite that you see drift across the screen, so we're making a full orbit around the moon, and we'll be back pretty soon. Oh, there I am. See you? Right by Josh. And the race is off. Men's 1,500 heading down the back straight. Josh Kerr straight to the front. And Vince Ciotti going by Henry Wynn, joining Josh up front. And Henry Wynn sitting in that nice third position. That's where you want to be. Dustin Nading in the purple behind him. And then Hassan Mead making a move and getting in front of Dustin Nading already. Getting that prime position. Hassan's a seasoned racer. He knows what to do. But you don't want to get up on that back kick of Hassan Mead. It's a dangerous place to be with those legs flying around. Eric Avila sitting behind Dustin Nading. And then you've got Logan Orndorff behind him. It's a pilot's life for me. At 44.3 through the 300 meters. Josh Kerr here, crossing at about 59 seconds for the 400 meters. In this fancy car, our men's 1,500. Got Josh Kerr up front and Vince Ciotti behind him. Then Henry Wynn and Hassan Mead. And there's a pack of three. I don't know if you can call that a gap just yet. Dustin Nading's trying to close down. And they're rounding the bend. Josh Kerr pulls off and leaves Vince Ciotti to lead these boys through. And Ciotti in the speed suit today, it's a good look. Definitely did that for the 800 meters. You want a speed suit for the 800 meters because it's fast. And you feel fast, and you look good, and you run better because of it. But here's Vince Ciotti coming up on 800 meters here, and we'll see what that is. About 2 flat for 800 meters. And he's still in front, going as far as he can go, leading these guys through, taking the wind on that backstretch for him. And the boys are all bunched up again. It's anybody's race here. Henry Wynn with Hassan Mead. And we've got Eric Avila and Dustin Nading and Logan Orndorff behind Dustin Nading here. Logan Orndorff may be the next Woody Kincaid or Scott Fauble or Scott Olberding or Stephen Kirsch, a Portland pilot. And now Henry Wynn is at the front, and he's got Hassan Mead on his shoulder, and then Eric Avila sailing in from the Golden Coast, looking to cut them off in the straight. Once they round this bend, I think he'll sit for a little bit, but he's coming up on the outside, and Henry Wynn is in front, but Eric Avila is on his shoulder. And now they're heading into the final 300 meters. A hand on the back from Dustin Nading on Eric Avila while they try to give each other some space. And Nading trying to squeeze on the inside, but he's not being let through by Henry Wynn. Oh, and now look at this. Eric Avila, like he's got a jetpack on. He's sailing through outer space at speeds that we've never clocked before. What is this? He is hauling down the straight. This is a gap Holy moly! What are we going to see here? 341, 342, 343. Eric Avila, and then Henry Wynn. What a blistering kick that last 200 meters, like he was shot out of a space cannon. I think he even passed our satellite as it was drifting across the screen. My word. Eric Avila takes the victory. His first one for the 2020 Tracklandia Space Race Program series. That was special. And some great work done there by Josh Kerr and Vince Ciotti. And we've got Chanel Price coming in here.
Oh, should I go up? Come up to you? Okay.
And Chanel Price just jogging by, giving us a hello. But there you have your results. Eric Avila takes the victory in 3:43.71, followed by Henry Wynn, then Dustin Nading in 3:48.29. And we've got two Logan Orndorffs on there. So, great work. I think Logan Orndorff split into two people as he was kicking down that home stretch. And much like a blackjack table doubling down, he wanted to see which one would take the win, and it looks like Logan Orndorff beat Logan Orndorff by 0.3 of a second. So congratulations to Logan Orndorff. But Eric Avila, the story of that race. I'm not sure what that last 200 meters was, but it was something special. And he must have been laughing to himself knowing that he had that in his legs the whole time. Devastating. Well, we have a short break here before we get to the men's 3,000 meters this evening, which will be our final event of the day. But before we get to that break, we're going to take a couple interviews. Oh, and a beautiful shot here at the hills. And this might be the Oregon Coastal Range, or maybe the Moon Coastal Range. It's tough to tell. And there's a shot of the track, too. Wonderful evening here at sunset. And we hope wherever you are is just as scenic and picturesque. And we know most of you are probably inside watching. And we're coming down right now to chat with Chanel Price.
You can look up at Adam. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, are we good?
I need a thumbs up. We're good. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. You're good.
All right, everybody, we're here with Chanel Price this evening. Chanel, this is your third 800-meter victory in the 2020 Tracklandia Space Race Program series. So what made tonight different from the other races that you won?
Let's see. Well, the last race I was told by my coach that I was not allowed to take the lead. And so this week he said, I want you to take the lead. And so we're just trying different strategies, not really chasing times, but just trying to win each race. And so I listened, and when I felt the wind on the backstretch, I was like, I hope somebody takes this because I don't want to fight the wind. And yeah, I slowed it down, and they ended up taking it, and then I was able to use my kick. So yeah, we're just having fun this year and just trying to practice winning and not chasing the time. The time will come, but we just want to become more of a championship racer, like I said last week. So.
Well, you've run 2:01 twice and now 2:02, but you've gotten the win every time you've run 2 laps this season.
Yeah.
So what What does that mean to you and to your fans and to the Oregon Track Club?
Yeah, yeah.
Take those victories.
I think it's cool. Like I said, we are focused on winning this year and learning how to race different strategies. And so I'm surprised that at going on 30 years old, I'm still learning. But it's fun. Racing has become fun again, and I love the group, and I'm learning so much from Coach Mark, and just so thankful for these opportunities. So yeah, I'm just having fun this season because I know next year is going to be a little stressful. So just having some fun.
Well, what kind of confidence does that give you going into next year, knowing that you can win from any point on the track now,
Yeah.
from front, from drafting?
And that was what this year was all about. Once we found out that the Olympics weren't going to happen, he said, let's just build your confidence back up. It has been a while since I've raced consistently, so just to get these wins, I think it's what I need going into next year. But hopefully before the year's over, I'll dip under 2, because that'll bring a smile to my face.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's always nice when you can do that.
Yes.
Oh, look out! Oh, oh boy, that is a breeze on the back stretch,
Yes.
huh?
Yes.
Good catch. Well, we have a few more maybe this year.
Great.
But yeah, what are you looking forward to in the off season heading into next year?
So family is back east, so hopefully it's safe enough to go back there. And I have a brand new baby nephew that I want to meet, and I want to play with my nieces. And so I'm just a big family person, so I'm looking forward to just shutting it down and spending some time with them.
Oh, absolutely. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
And lots of good food, right?
Yes.
Oh, of course. All right. Well, thank you very much for being here and taking another win at the 2020 Tracklandia Space Race Program Series.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you next time.
Yes, definitely.
Chanel Price, everybody.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right.
I'm going to tie that thing now.
And we'll give you that lineup soon. But the wind is there's still a slight breeze here this evening, wherever we are. But it has not hindered the racing. And as you can see, there's some happy winners floating around the track here. And here we have the competitors for the Gum 3,000 meters, and this race is brought to you by Gum. Gum, it's got flavor, and that's about it. And that flavor's for a limited time only. But here we have a great lineup for this men's 3,000 meters. And Eric Avila coming back. Back-to-back races for Eric Avila. And we can see maybe why he held back a little bit in that 1,500 meters and just unleashed on the field over that final 200 meters. Maybe he was angry knowing that he had a 3,000 meters coming up right afterwards. But wherever you need to get your motivation. So this men's 3,000 meters brought to you by Gum. And we have Adam Vizoke, and he's a runner from the Reebok Boston Track Club, but he's spending a lot of his time up in Seattle at the moment. And he's run 7:54 for 3,000 meters, and he did that indoors, I believe in New York. And the men are being called to the line for this 3,000 meters we have here. And in this field, we also have Chris Derrick of the Bowerman Track Club. Ladies and gentlemen, the bunker's been breached and one's escaped. No, just kidding. We love what the BTC's been doing this season, and it's great to see them chase times and bring a lot of joy to the sport. We're happy that Chris is joining us this evening here in the Big Friendly Series. Chris has run 7:43 for the 3,000 meters, and he's a marathoner these days. But this season he's jumped on the track a little bit to test his space legs. And he's an excellent cross-country runner, too, a multiple-time U.S. champion. And he'll be facing Ben Blankenship, too, in this race, who's making his 2020 season debut. And he's run 7:38 in the 3,000 meters. And you know him best as a 1,500-meter runner. He's a 2016 Olympian in that event. He's run 3:34. And we see Eric Avila there on the line again, and we also see Will Paulson jumping back from the 800 meters earlier this evening. And he's going to do a little helping. But the men are on the line. Will Paulson slapping his legs, getting ready to go. Warming them up. And they're off. Men's 3,000 is underway. The GUM Men's 3,000 here at BF4, Force of the Friendly. And a small but formidable force field in this event. Will Paulson takes the front. And Eric Avila has chosen not to jump in this race. So we have Will Paulson at the front, and then Ben Blankenship, Chris Derrick on Blankenship's shoulder, and then Adam Visoke. And please correct me in the comments if I'm pronouncing Adam's name incorrectly. And the breeze has calmed down a little bit for this GUM Men's 3,000 meters here at the exact replica of the Newburgh High School track on the dark side of the moon. And they even turned the stands lights on for us too, as you can see in that shot, which is nice. It's a nice touch here. And the men are rolling around too. This is coming up to 600 meters in the GUM Men's 3,000 meters. Will Paulson still at the front with a 1:37, 600 meters. And it's a tight group still. And we know we mentioned something last week too at this time during the men's 3,000 meters, but we want to send our thoughts to Tommy Rivers Puzzi, who's battling pulmonary lymphoma at the moment, and he's a sturdy son of Oregon from Hermiston. And you can find out more info on how to support Tommy in his fight on his brother's Instagram page, or search the hashtag or the Instagram handle Run with Ribs. And Tommy, we're thinking about you, and we can't wait to get out on the trails with you again soon. And we know you're a fighter and you're going to pull through this. And this is the kind of thing that we know Tommy would love too. Just some good old-fashioned racing set against an Oregon backdrop in the evening in the summer. And no separation yet at the moment as they come up here to 3 laps at the GUM 3,000 meters. And about 3:13 through the 1,200. So a good steady pace. Slightly under 4:20, 1,600 meter pace. And last week we saw the 1,500, the first 1,500 was 4 flat, and then the second one notched it down to about 3:53. And that was a great battle between Sugar Osako and Garrett Heath down the home stretch. Nobody gave an inch, and they were only separated by hundredths of a second at the end. I suggest you go back and watch that coverage right after this, of course. And here we have Will Paulson leading Ben Blankenship and Chris Derrick holding on as they come up to the 600 meter or 1600 meter mark in the GUM 3000 meters. And that's about 4:14, 4:15. And that was a quick lap there. My watch could be wrong, but I think that was a 61 high. And they've stepped it down quite a bit here. And it's no wonder that Chris Derrick has drifted back slightly. No knock on Chris, he's a fantastic runner. But that was a quick lap there, if that was correct. And we'll see if they can sustain this pace, or if it was just a fluke. Maybe we fell into a wormhole or something. Anything can happen in space. I've heard that there are different kinds of holes, wormholes, black holes, things that pop out of nowhere, which is why I was afraid to go to space when this all started in the first place, but it seemed like an opportunity I couldn't pass up. And that's another sub 62 second lap there. I think a 61.8 for Will Paulson, still leading Ben Blankenship. So I don't know what these guys are trying to do here in the second half of the race, but I'm intrigued. And Will Paulson is pulling off here, leaving Ben Blankenship to drive alone into the darkness. And Chris Derrick is about 50 meters back now. His sights set squarely on Blankenship's back. And that 2:03 second 800, we'll see what that's going to do to Blankenship's legs, but I don't think he would do it if he couldn't sustain it. And Blankenship driving down the back stretch now, and you can see Chris Derrick behind him. And we'll get you another lap split here as he comes up to the cone. That was about a 64. So maybe we're back out of the wormhole now. But just practicing some good old-fashioned racing here with some surges out at BF4, Force of the Friendly. And we know that Ben Blankenship is hungry for a win in his season opener here. And Chris Derrick chasing him down. And this is a lap to go. Here's the bell lap for Ben Blankenship in about 6:53. Chris Derrick pulls through. And here's Adam Vizoque coming up to the bell lap as well. And Ben Blankenship heading down the back stretch at the moment. You got his teammate Hassan Mead clapping him on with 200 meters to go, approaching 200 meters to go in this GUM 3000 meters. And that was another 64-second lap as he makes the final turn here. And now Chris Derrick goes into the final turn as well. Ben Blankenship straightens it out, heads into the home straight. And he's coming in, punching his fists high as he approaches the finish line here in a solid 7:56 for the 3,000 meters here at the BF4 Force of the Friendly. Chris Derrick coming in for second place in the Force of the Friendly. And a job well done to all. And we've got Adam Vizoque coming in here, closing it out in the GUM 3000 meters this evening. And that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. We got some new winners this evening. The Oregon Track Club with a pair of victories, or a trio of victories this evening. Ben Blankenship takes it. The GUM men's 3,000 meters in 7:56.5, followed by Chris Derrick, 8:05.91. And then Adam Vizoque 8:21.72. And some great pacing by Will Paulson, including a pair of 61, 62-second laps, which made things exciting. Now we've got some athletes doing workouts on the track here. And another exciting evening in the books here at the 2020 Tracklandia Space Race Program Series. All right, everybody, we're going to come back with some interviews for you after this quick break, so stick with us, and we're going to have some fun with the athletes, see what they have to say. We'll be right back.
We'll give it a go.
Little chit chat. Well, I can stand off to the side here.
No problem. How you doing?
Not bad, pretty good. So you threw in a couple hot laps in the middle of the race there.
I think we're 64 almost all the way through.
Okay.
I thought maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm terrible at reading splits. Terrible.
I thought there were a couple like right around 62, but
Well, that would be pretty good. I don't know. Then I fell apart somewhere. Just say it was perfectly split.
Oh.
Oh, we're ready. We're on.
All right, everybody, we're here with Ben Blankenship, the winner of the GUM men's 3,000 meters. Ben, return to the track. How did it feel?
Feels good. It's been a little while. Feels nice to be back, and I mean, coming out here and making something happen that you can feel confident in is the biggest part, right? It's taking that training you've done while we've been in quarantine, coming somewhere where we're confident in the surroundings. You know, everybody here is, you know, utmost respectful and, you know, responsible.
All right, we make it a point to create a safe environment for all the athletes competing here. What pushed you towards the 3,000 meters instead of your traditional 1,500 this evening?
You know, I'm kind of working on this like over distance, right? Just like going back to like ad hoc American cross country. You know, you train big volume, get the legs ready for some later on track season, right? And that's kind of what we're doing, and we're just kind of introducing ourselves back to the track. Something a little bit more, let's say, casual and fun. And then we'll see where the rest of the season takes us.
Yeah, how is it getting out here and mixing it up with athletes from other groups that you haven't seen in a little bit?
Yeah, you know, there's not many times that Chris Derrick, Ben Blankenship will be on a track race together. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah. What would you guys say to each other when you were on the line there together?
You know, we warmed up, we had this great conversation, and just kind of thought, okay, how can we get through this the best way possible, you know? And really it was just like trying to run consistent laps, you know, 64, 65, and just kind of feel our way through it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and a great evening out here.
Yeah.
Wherever we are in this undisclosed location.
Exactly, and hopefully we'll be back. That's the rumor, right?
Well,
the 21st, we're coming back.
Well, it could be anywhere. It could
be anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere, but 21st.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm signed up.
Okay, good. Well, yeah. Your official formal invitation is in the mail.
Thank you. I'll wait for that.
Yeah, but be on the lookout for that.
Perfect.
And we look forward to seeing you again. Congratulations on your win.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Ben Blankenship.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Hey, thank you. Now, is there something going on in the 21st? Kind of leaning on it.
It's my All right, ladies and gentlemen, we might get you more interviews later, but that's a wrap for the BF4 Force of the Friendly this evening. We had a great time, as we always do out here, wherever we are. We're not going to tell you where that is. We have your standings here for the series right now. Pete's Rip City Rollers, although they have left for Europe back on planet Earth, they still have 10 wins in the series. The OTC climbing up those rankings with 6 wins. And then the Beasts with 3. We have Little Wing with 1. And then coming in with Eric Avila's ridiculous last 200-meter kick, the Golden Coast now has 1 victory in the Tracklandia Space Race Program series. And then Eleanor Fulton, a Lone Ranger, unaffiliated with the group, coming in with a win too in the women's 1,500 meters. So, if you like what you see, there is also a little donate button, the PayPal icon at the top of the banner on the Tracklandia page. And it takes a lot of work to put these things together, and we definitely are willing to do that work, and we're going to continue to do that work and bring you track for free, live for free. But if you like what you see and you want these things to continue to go ahead and throw a couple cents that way if it pleases you. So from all of us here at the Tracklandia Portland Track crew here in the heart of Tracklandia, please be safe, take care of each other, keep the dream alive, and we'll see you next time. And we'll let you know when that is pretty soon. I mean, we're going to talk to Ben Blankenship and figure out what works best for him. But good night. As you know, we're hitting the Taco Bell drive-thru, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.